according to reports, Real Madrid's Tchouameni, Ajax's number 10 Mohammed Kudus, and Brighton midfielder Caceido and Lille striker Jonathan David could all be transfer targets for Manchester United in the summer. Talking about Tchouameni, Real Madrid are ready to let him leave the club, and United and other Premier League clubs have been alerted to the possibility of a bargain this summer. That's according to the Spanish outlet, and I can't pronounce the name, Fichuges or something like that. I don't know, you know what I'm like, I'm no good with names like that. So they claim that Madrid would welcome the departure of the 20-year-old this summer. That's just 12 months after, literally it's just 12 months after he joined that club for €100 million from Monaco, which seems a little crazy, doesn't it? Anyway, Tchouameni hasn't managed to start consistently for Real Madrid, despite, you know, him being brought in to replace Casemiro. In fact, it was the fact that Madrid were buying him which green-lighted Casemiro's move to United. So obviously United are reportedly interested in Jude Bellingham, and so are Real Madrid. So the fact that, you know, if Real Madrid can sign Bellingham, that could open the door or open the way for Tchouameni to leave Madrid. The report also suggests that only Premier League clubs could afford the player. I mean, that's just after his massive move from Monaco. So, and as I said, United and others are among the clubs that are interested in signing him. But about United specifically, some are saying that we don't need a player like Tchouameni because we have Casemiro. But it's because we don't have any other current CDM, I think, that a player like him will be a useful signing. I think he's really good, because a lot of the talk at the minute is that we need cover in the likes of Casemiro and the likes of Fernandes, which we don't have. But anyway, so some people are saying that we don't need a player like Tchouameni because we've got Casemiro. But ironically, Casemiro's, you know, like I mentioned before, Casemiro's departure from Real Madrid was what took Tchouameni to Real Madrid, and he's just not getting the game time he wanted. Looking back into the past, the reports that United held talks with the Frenchman, Tchouameni's French last year, and while we went with Christian Eriksen alongside Casemiro as a creative ball player in deep midfield, and we also have Fred as a hard runner and a marker, Tchouameni can do all of that. He can do all those roles. So that makes him an extremely interesting player. Yes, he's young, he's 20 years old, but some would say he's proven. He's done it in Monaco, and, you know, it's not that he's really not made it at Madrid, it's just that other options that they already had have kind of like superseded him. And personally, I think if he stayed there for another season, he'd probably do well. But talking about United again, how much would he cost us? He's currently valued at €90 million. However, it's thought that Real may cut the asking price for a quick sale. Obviously, that all depends on whether they actually do sign Jude Bellingham. And you must remember, this is all rumours. Moving on, Ajax's midfield star Mohammed Kudus is also a possible transfer target of Ten Hag's. Ten Hag obviously has already raided Ajax with 2 players, so he signed Martinez and Anthony before leaving. Well, but after he left the club himself last year. Kudus is a Ghanaian international, and he could be available for £40 million. This season we've seen Ten Hag experimenting with players in different roles, and Kudus could be Ten Hag's top man when it comes to being potentially fluid in where he can play across the pitch. Kudus really is seen as more of a number 10. He's left-footed, he's got a powerful shot, but he has played up front, he's played deeper into midfield, and he's played on both wings. So he's a very versatile player. Ten Hag could use him as a false nine, facilitating penetrative runs from Marcus Rashford. Basically, he could play as a midfielder ahead of Casemiro and Eriksen, or as an alternative to Antony on the right. Ten Hag actually signed Kudus in the Netherlands, and previously praised him, saying he had incredible potential. Since Ten Hag left Ajax, the club have had a terrible season, by their own standards that is, but Kudus still has 18 goals in all competitions, and he's 22 years old and valued at €30 million. Next on the transfer rumour list is Brighton's workhorse Caceido. He's been linked with United for a summer move. However, it's been reported that both Arsenal and Liverpool are also interested in the Ecuadorian. He's 21 years old and has won praise for his tough tackling, being physical, and his ability to carry the ball forwards and initiate attacks. It's thought that he would likely command a transfer fee of around €60 million. Now, personally, I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. I've seen a lot of him this season, but I literally can't see why. I mean, obviously that failed Chelsea move. I really can't see why Brighton would want to sell him. I mean, he's coveted by many sides, but I just think it would probably be too difficult, or so his value is €60 million. But that's probably a starting price. You know, if it becomes a bidding war, you know, the transfer market's like these days, you could probably end up paying 100, 120, and then you've got the problem of, do you perceive that you're getting value for your money? That could be the problem. Moving on, we've got the Lille striker Jonathan David. He also, it's rumoured, could be a target, according to various sources. David has played a pivotal role in Leeds' success this season, with the club on course to secure European football under Paulo Fonseca. Now, David, he's a Canadian, obviously he's a forward, and he currently sits second in League 1, or League 1, whatever you want to call it, in their scoring charts, having netted 21 times in 30 starts with 4 assists. During his very first season with Lille, David starred alongside Christophe Galtier, as they led to the club to an unlikely League 1 triumph. That season they basically beat PSG and their star-studded side by a single point on the final day of that season. David's a former Ghent star and is also an experienced international, having scored 24 goals in 40 appearances for Canada. He was part of the side that secured Canada's first World Cup appearance since 1986. Apparently United, Chelsea and Tottenham are all interested in bringing the Canadian, but he was born in America, to United, to their clubs. He's 23 years old, and obviously there's a lot of interest in him. David was previously linked with a move to Old Trafford, but the club have been monitoring the starlet during his breakout season in the Belgium top flight. With Ghent, and again earlier this season following Canada's World Cup exit. David's current market value is €60 million, and is he worth that? Will there be United tax? I mean, who knows? I mean, personally, until doing a little bit of research before this video, I've never heard of him. Have you? Please let me know in the comments below. So, regarding the players that we've spoken about, well, I've spoken about in this video, the one that stands out for me is two that stand out for me. Tchouameni from Real and Caceido from Brighton. Now, if it's actually true that Real want to let Tchouameni go, I think he is probably the more realistic signing for United. As for Brighton's Caceido, what a player. But I mean, they've done exceptionally well this season, Brighton, and if they want to kind of like see progression next season, I can't see why they would sell one of their best players, if not their best player, to a rival like United. It would take big money to prize him away, I think. Much more beyond the 60 million euro that is apparently his price tag. And obviously all this comes down to Ten Hag's budget. Will he have the budget to buy more than one player? I mean, obviously we've been linked heavily with Harry Kane, and as I sit here today, we've just off the back of last night's 2-2 draw with Tottenham, where Harry Kane did stand out to be an exceptional player in that game. Although there are rumours today that Pochettino may be going to, I mean, this rumour's been around for a few days, but Pochettino may be going to Chelsea, may become their next manager. And there's talk that he wants Harry Kane to join him. Now, my initial thought was, well, hasn't Harry Kane said that he wouldn't stay in London, he wouldn't play for a rival of Tottenham's? I don't know. Is that true? Or is it really just about the biggest pay packet? Would he want to link up with Pochettino? What's their history between them? Who knows? I certainly don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments below. But that could, let's say Pochettino and Harry Kane, they do get along. Will he choose Chelsea over United? And if so, where does that leave United? United then looking at Osimhen? Are we looking at Tony from Brentford? Or are we looking at some other player, like one of the players I've mentioned today? I mean, David, he's a striker. So it kind of throws everything into the air. I mean, the sooner, in a way, that we as United fans know what Ten Hag's budget is, and we get to the end of the season, secure top four, and then we can start to rebuild, the more comfortable I'll be, and probably the more comfortable you'll be, in knowing what the potential is for next season. Yeah, I think that's a logical kind of way of thinking about it. What do you think? Thanks for watching the video. Please smash a like. And if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.